Welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Man, what have I done to my hair? It looks crazy, but I hope you guys are getting a good time out there. As you guys know, I do a crypto show every day, and I love doing variety shows as well, where we pick up a different topic each time. Typically, it's politics or something like that because it's so topical at the moment. But today, we are going to check out 18-wheelers. Yeah, the big trucks, and we're going to talk about those. Often we drive around and you may not even think about it, but they're transporting huge amount of products and services over the country, and particularly in the United States. United States, trucker culture is just next level. Big trucks, and of course the culture there is amazing. People go to diners. The diners are incredible trucker stops. They're huge places compared to anywhere else in the world, and it is quite the thing, right? 50 states, or in particular, 48 particularly. I guess you could include 49 with Alaska going through Canada, but it is incredible stuff what these truckers do, and it is a whole lifestyle, right? Really big lifestyle, and some of these trucks are amazing. So we're going to check it out, some of the most popular 18-wheelers in the United States, in America, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're also going to look at some of the luxury in some of these vehicles. It is incredible, some of the cabs that are in some of these trucks, and of course we're also going to look at some of the use cases. Some of the salaries as well that they get in the United States. I think that's pretty interesting. It can be a pretty profitable kind of role to do. Obviously, it can be tough with the night driving or day driving, long distances in the United States. But there's pros and cons to it, isn't there? And of course, the culture is pretty vibrant. So very cool. We've seen truckers, of course, in multiple movies in the United States. Cannonball Run, things like that. I mean, there's been lots of truck movies. It's pretty exciting. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, one big thing, of course, it's such a big vehicle on the road, trucks, particularly big, giant 18-wheelers. You have a lot of accidents, right? So you need litigation lawyers. And, of course, there are big accidents that have happened in America with trucks, particularly in ice and snow conditions in the winter, through big storms in the Midwest and things like that. So it is a pretty crazy thing when you think about a giant truck driving around as well. So it is a crazy time. Now, I just want to do a big shout out there. We've got some comments in the chat there before we get going. We've got DJ Paulie Wood in the house there. What's up? Hey, good to see you, DJ Paulie Wood. Appreciate your comments lately. Thank you very much for some of the heads up as well. And, of course, we're streaming over on Rumble now, which is so exciting. I'm really excited about being over on Rumble. I just feel like it's a whole new world. And, of course, we love freedom on this channel, and Rumble's, personifies that. So really great to be over there too. Get your comments in, folks. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. If you love crypto, if you love a variety show where we cover politics, sports, really interesting topics like 18-wheelers, get in and follow this channel. That's what we're really going to be doing, mixing it up. There's so much in the world to explore, and hopefully this channel is going to be doing some of that. So very cool. If you haven't followed, smash the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the channel around, and, of course, become part of our vibrant community. I think it's really exciting, and the Discord links are in the video description. Join up to our Discord links today. We've got community membership. We've got strategy club for crypto. We've got, of course, a new strategy course for beginners for crypto. You learn all about crypto in 15 videos. So check out some of those things as well. Very cool. Now, it's nice to see Brian, our community leader of our Discord and on YouTube and now Rumble as well. Good to see you in the chat there, Brian. Appreciate everything you do as well. And I see you got your sidekick Hedgehog in as well there today. So pretty cool. Hey, look, I've changed the animations as well. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. And let's have a look at how big this trucker community is in the United States. How many trucks, I should say, are being manufactured. And we're going to be looking at that. So we're going to do some high-level numbers. Then we're going to look at the 3 most popular truck companies in America that manufacture trucks. And then we're going to look at some of the pros and cons, as well as some of the salaries that people earn. And we're also going to look at, obviously, some of the truck crashes, some of the big ones that have happened. And, of course, typically you're going to need some lawyers and litigation there to get good coverage of your injuries and insurance in the United States, right? Because it's very different in the United States regarding insurance and stuff like that. So we're going to check it all out today. This is going to be pretty fun coverage. I've been looking forward to doing this one. I was going to do it a couple of days ago, but, of course, I've been stuck doing some other stuff as well. We've got Pineapple in the house there. Hi, Superman. Why you changed the name? Hey, because I'm broadening out from crypto, and we're going to be doing a lot of variety show topics. Really cool. We're still doing our daily crypto show, but we are growing, and of course moving to platforms as well. Just started streaming on X social platform, and of course just started streaming on Rumble. Very excited about Rumble in particular. Very, very excited indeed. So, and we've had some good growth yesterday and over the weekend. So a big welcome to all the members that have joined in the last 2 days as we start streaming as well. So let's get straight into it. I think I've talked enough about that. And of course, let's have a look at some of these numbers. So as you can see here, I've just typed into a bit of a Google AI here to see what some of the sales are in America. And in 2023 seems to be the latest data that we have. Obviously, we're now into March 2025, but that says commercial truck sales in America, including 18-wheelers, that's Classic 8 trucks, so big tonnage carriers, reached 500,000 units. So a huge number of sales there for the first time since 2019. So a big climb back in the number of vehicles there. And of course, with heavy duty truck sales increasing by 5%, it also makes out that overall commercial truck sales in 2023 were pretty huge, up 7.6%. Heavy duty truck sales reached 266,000. That includes Class 8, the big 18-wheelers. And of course, that is a 23 up 5% from 2022. Class 8 truck sales in particular, which are for heavy duty, hauling between 33 and 80,000 pounds, total 266,000 in 2023. So some huge sales. These numbers are crazy. When I compare it to my small country of New Zealand, these numbers are really insane. Market share, it looks like Freightliner is the undisputed leader in the US Class 8 truck market, and of course consistently holding the highest market share. And we're going to be talking more about that when we get up to the different brand makers there. Used truck prices, now that new truck production has recovered, prices for used Class 8 equipment have returned to a more normal level. So they're probably a lot higher, a lot more expensive when there's less production, right? So that's good news for if you want to buy a used truck. Now, the price range you can expect it to pay. So here's the kicker. This is US dollars, by the way. So compared to New Zealand dollars, New Zealand's a bit like Mexican pesos. That's how we make the comparison. It's about 0.57 cents to the US dollar. So it's pretty US dollar's pretty strong compared to New Zealand. Anyway, it's $70,000 to $150,000 for a new semi truck. Put it in the comments there if you're looking for a new semi and you would be willing to pay $70,000 to $150,000, or whether you would just look for a nice second hand now that it looks like that market's returned to normal. Now, some prices exceed $160,000 US dollars for trucks with a particular upgrades, and I'm sure some of that price upgrade could go really, really high. So pretty crazy. Now we got a couple of comments there. Pineapple says, "Okay, expanding, yeah." Hey, look, getting rid of the animation is actually a lot faster, isn't it? I just noticed. It's kind of cool. Brian says upgrades are a good thing. They definitely are. A lot of people like their upgrades, right? So that's probably adds a lot of value to the manufacturers. Hey, Lance is in the house as well. What the heck's up? Yeah, we're going to talk about the cars. We're talking about trucks. So that's some of the high metrics there. Let's look at some of the jobs. Like if you're going to buy these trucks for 70 to 150K, right, you want to get a pretty good earnings, right? Because you got to pay all that money back, right? You got to get a loan and pay that back. So it's pretty important there. Pineapple says, anyone bought a PDI under 1 cent? Oh, there's not a crypto coverage today. We're kind of doing trucks today, but hey, crypto's 24/7, baby. All right, so let's move on to the salaries and some of the salaries we got on at the moment. 10 highest annual salaries at the moment in the trucking industry. And we've got a good list here. This is the latest survey that's actually hot off the press here with cloudtrucks.com. And we've got owner-operators, $320,000 salary there if you operate your own truck. So that's pretty damn profitable, thinking that you're paying, 70 to 150K for a truck. And we've got team drivers, $119,000. We've got specialty vehicle haulers, $95,000 US dollars. Now, if you're in the United States, let me know what these salaries mean to you. Is this particularly high? Is this particularly good? Let me know, because many of you do travel to the United States. I know a couple of people in the chat there that do that. So oversized load, $82,000. Regional truck drivers, they get 75K. Ice road drivers, I guess we're talking them up in the north there somewhere, get 66,000. Liquids and tankers get 62,000. And we've got hazmat drivers get 61,000. Mining industry drivers get 40,000. I'm a little surprised at the mining one there, to be honest. And then private fleet, $30,000 a year. That's probably not surprising. You probably got the cheaper end of the drivers, but it's still pretty good wicket. Let me know what you think of some of those incomes there, especially if you're in the United States, because you'll have a bit of feel for what those prices are like. So that is a pretty recent survey there on truckers. So pretty crazy there. Now, there are different names for 18-wheelers in the United States. 18-wheelers is pretty typically used in the South. particularly the southeast of the United States. So depending on where you are, you're going to probably use more different phrasing there. Some say, just big trucks and whatever. So lots of different comments there. Now we're going to get into some of the cool stuff here with the trucks here. So we're on Peterbilt here. So this is our first of three most common manufacturers. So we're going to leave it on there for a minute and talk about this. So this is a pretty interesting kind of truck manufacturing. It's Peterbilt there, and you guys may have heard of that before. So we're going to get in and talk about that. So let me just pull up a few notes that I've got on this one on Peterbilt. So the Peterbilt, we've got some cool information here. So they basically have popular models like the 579 model. It's a direct competitor to probably the most popular one, Freightliner Cascadia, and of course Kenworth's truck as well, the T680. So it seems to be the most popular ones. And there is also a classic 389 as well, based on driver preferences, industry data, and of course performance metrics, basically up to date. So pretty interesting there. Now, some of the good things about the Peterbilt is the build quality. Peterbilt trucks are pretty much known for their sturdy construction longevity, and that's really important if you're on the road a lot, right? And of course, you want to lower your maintenance costs as well. Often hitting 1 to 1.5 million miles with proper maintenance, which is pretty huge there. It reminds me of my little Toyota that I used to have, and that was sort of a car that could just go, probably 500,000 to 1 million kilometers on that thing, which is about 300 miles or something, 300 to 500 miles. The 389, for instance, is a workhorse for heavy-duty hauls like flatbed or oversized loads. Customizable like Kenworth, Peterbilt offers extensive options, chrome detailing, and everyone's got to have the good old shiny chrome. Custom interiors, think leather and wood accents for that sort of thing. Custom interiors are a big must, especially if you're living in the thing. You like to show it off to others as well. That's kind of good to have. And of course, the unique paint jobs as well. They do pretty unique paint jobs on these. That makes it a favorite amongst owner operators who want a standout rig. And there's plenty of you out there. I know there's plenty of you out there. Also, comfort is pretty popular for comfort with the Peterbilts. The 579 boasts a spacious, quiet cab with premium sleeper options up to 80 inches, and of course, excellent suspension. Peterbilt's Flex Air system is pretty popular, and of course, delivers a smooth ride with rivals Kenworth T680 and beats the Cascadia for driver comfort. And if you're going to be on the road all night, especially all night in America, man, you're going to want that comfort. If you're going to sleep in there, of course, you want a comfort as well. If you're going to stop off one of those big truck stations with the big diners, you're definitely going to want that. Resale value as well is really good for Peterbilts. It holds strong value in the used market, and we've talked about the fact that manufacturing's back up for 18-wheelers. So actually, that's going to keep the value up on the secondary market, which seems to have returned to normal. So it's pretty cool, and that's because they've got premium branding and of course a lower production volumes. There's less of them around. Well-maintained 579 or a 389 can fetch 15 to 25% more than a comparable Freightliner Cascadia at resale, which is pretty interesting. Now, the engineering power or the engine power, it's equipped with a PACCAR MX-11 or MX-13 engines, and of course, it's up to 510 horsepower. And you've got to have those horsepower for those hills, right? I don't know I guess if you're going through places like Colorado, doesn't it have big hills out there? That'd probably be pretty important. Or you could have the Cummins X15 options. Peterbilt offers robust torque and performance, excelling in tough cuffing conditions while maintaining basically decent fuel economy as well. 6.5 to 7.5 miles per gallon for the 579, just to give you some idea. Now, there are some, cons, for example, high cost. Peterbilt trucks can carry a pretty steep price, starting at 160 to 190K, so it's above kind of that average range we just talked about before. For a 579 or 389 compared to 130 to 150,000 for Cascadia. So Cascadia is cheaper, but not quite as sturdy and long-lasting. So I guess you have to weigh that up as well. This premium upfront cost can deter budget-conscious buyers or fleets there. So it really is the premium, but probably would pay off over the longer term for sure. Now, there's also a certain amount of fuel efficiency that you don't have as well. While the 579's aerodynamic design improves mileage, it still lags behind the Cascadia by about 0.5 to 1 miles per gallon, which is pretty significant there over time. Costing more in fuel over long hauls, the heavier 389 fares worse, prioritizing power over efficiency as well. So it's good on the maintenance side, not as good on the fuel efficiency going across long tours in the United States. The maintenance costs, parts are more expensive and less ubiquitous than Freightliners, reflecting Peterbilt's smaller market share. They produce more, produce less, etc. They don't have quite the scale of the market share. They have about 14 to 16% of the market share compared to, Freightliners 40%. Repairs can also take longer if service centers aren't nearby, and it's pretty much a hassle for sensitive operators as well. Tech integration, Peterbilt Smart LINQ telematics and safety features, etc. For collision mitigation, which we're going to talk about later on because it's really important on the old collision mitigation. We're going to talk about some stories about truck crashes and, of course, the legal ramifications of that as well, injuries, etc. Now, there's also lane departure warnings as well. They're solid, but they don't match the seamless integration of breadth of Freightliner's Detroit Assurance Suite. And these insurance deals are pretty important when you get these trucks, right? Updates can feel a little bit step behind with the tech integration as well. Now, weight trade-off. There's a weight trade-off with the Peterbilts. The 389, for example, built for rugged appeal, is heavier than competitors like Cascadia or even the 579. And, of course, that reduces payload capacity. This can be a big drawback for haulers maximizing freight weight, right? So if you try and do that. So, Peterbilt trucks, especially the 579 series and the 389 series, shine for the durability, comfort, and customization. But, of course, making them a top choice for owner-operators who value the premium ride and the long-term resale. But they strike a balance between Kenworth's ruggedness, which we're going to talk about as well, the Kenworth trucks. And, of course, that's what I grew up on was Kenworth trucks, right? So it's going to be pretty interesting. As a New Zealander, I'm familiar with that brand. So they did a good job of getting their name down here. And, of course, seeing them on a lot of movies as well. And they've slightly got a more modern edge as well in the 579 series. However, they sacrifice affordability, fuel efficiency, and, of course, service convenience compared to the Freightliner Cascadia, appealing more to drivers who prioritize pretty much quality and image over operational savings. It's definitely a truck for those who want to stand out in the road, not just get the job done cheaply. If you'd like to check some of these out, we're going to do it now, right? So this is pretty much it. You got some of the videos playing here at the moment, and of course a beautiful truck for sure. These roads in America are crazy. Look at the different terrains from deserts to mountain ranges. It is pretty insane. Some of the trucks that these guys have. So pretty exciting there. Now we're going to talk about some of these series that we talked about. We talked about the 579. Remember, that was a big one there, very most popular. We also got the 589, the 567 model, the 520, and the 548, all different specialty uses there. But let's have a look at the big rotor one there. We're going to have a look at that. They've also got an EV lineup as well. So the Peterbilt electric cars, they've got those as well. And, of course, parts and service, you're going to get them. And EV or diesel stuff as well. But let's have a look at a big model there, the 579, and check out some of that. So beautiful color on this red, that's for sure. Beautiful color. Brian says Toyota rocks. I have two. They are awesome. Yeah. Hey, look, Toyotas do just go. They do go for sure. That's pretty hilarious. All right. So yeah, we got some cool models here. Those are red. Honestly, I do like red, and it definitely stands out. It's such a nice model, and I really do like the curves on this. Am I allowed to say they're sexy curves? I think so. We're talking about trucks. So that's kind of cool. You can see there the 18-wheeler, not bad, and looking pretty nice there too. Now, that's in blue, that one. It's got the cab on the back. That is in silver, not bad there either. We got some more images here as well. That's in black and chrome. Whoa, black and chrome, that's pretty cool. And it's got yellow lights around it too, which would be pretty nice at night there. What else we got there? Whoa, that's the cab. Looking pretty futuristic as well. It's got a couple of coffee holders. I guess it's pretty important for the road. So yeah, that reminds me. I got a cuppa here. So cheers, everybody. Now the classes. This is class 8. So we're talking about those heavy trucks, right? And it's got front axle suspension for 1,200 to 14,600. So 12,000 to 14,600 pounds front axle. Rear axle 21,000 to 46,000 pounds as well. Now, the sleeper is somewhere between 44 and 80 inches. And, of course, used for the on-highway. So this is the main one here. And what a view that has, eh? What a view. So, yeah, you might be traveling a long way, but you're doing it in style. And what a vision that you have of that road. That's pretty impressive for sure. All right, so we've got some other ones here. Looking on the truck, so we're going to go to this one here. So there's one in blue. So I'd like all these different colors. You know, we've got silver, blue, reds. And they definitely stand out a lot with the chrome as well. A real beast powerhouses. There's another red one there. Not bad. There's another view of the cabin. That is impressive, right? It's almost like a shuttle, space shuttle for sure. And you can see all the tires and stuff like that. Lots of air conditioning. Of course, you can't have that in America without the strong air conditioning as well. And yeah, those big mirrors there. Look at the mirrors on the left there as well. Now they're implying that this is a cab sitting in front of the desert there as well. So we've got some more stuff there. Here's some of the gauges. That's some of the pretty futuristic gauge. That looks awesome. Now, in New Zealand, we have kilometers, right? So we don't have miles. This has got miles on here. It's got the trip monitor there, 2,000 miles in this example. Pretty cool. What else? Got a brake app. It's got air restrict. It's got fuel restrict as well. So I guess you could control that. We've got torque up here as well, 25%, axle temperatures, and a transmission as well with the hot degrees there. So got oil on the left, got speed on the middle, and you got coolant on the right-hand side there. Pretty nice UI too as well, to be honest. And it's got a little truck in front down the bottom there, so it's got some cool technology there. Now, this is the truck there with the car there, so it's got this intelligence, so you can see the truck in front of you. That's pretty cool, pretty badass. What else? We got some good stuff here. Inside the cab, this is crazy. Inside the cab, look at that. You got your own jackets if you had shirts and jackets, because you're probably going to stop off at the diner, right? And you stop off at the diner, you've got to wear something good. Maybe you're going to do some, what's that dancing you do in America? What's it, the line dancing? Probably doing some line dancing in America as well. So we're going to probably get a bit of that. There's your beautiful Peterbilt hot coffee mug. And I've got to say, I do like the coffee holders. I don't know why, but maybe it's the city lad in me. City lad. Nice interior doors as well. They're pretty nice. And of course, let's have a look at this. There's the indicator from the looks of it. Something like that. And of course, we've got more of the computer that's on there as well. So it's got gauges, audio, phone, cameras, clock, messaging as well. And you've got the nice radio there too. So that's some of the ones that we've got there on that. And I think we already looked at some of these. So we've got interior and exterior. We have to look at all of those. So overview there, the most technologically advanced fuel-efficient Peterbilt ever. And it's the Model 539, features the direct result of our customers' input. So, you've got to take your customers' input there to make the best truck. We've considered the feedback of over 100 user tests and interviews with drivers, techs, and safety and maintenance managers and applications, including over the road sleepers. So that's pretty exciting there as well. LTL day cabs and vocational applications such as tankers and aggregate haulers there. The results add up to the many technological advances in distinctive style, super comfortable, sleeker, more aerodynamical, and fuel-efficient Model 579. And, of course, definitely hugely popular. One that endured a 1 million-mile endurance test and extensive field evaluation. No wonder it's the most technologically advanced, fuel-efficient Peterbilt ever there. So some big words there. Pretty exciting. They got some pretty cool videos of it as well, operating here as well, which I think is pretty cool. So we can check out some of that, and looking good. 15 years ago, that's pretty impressive on that, some of that. So pretty awesome things happening there. March the 10th here, they said Peterbilt announces availability of Bendix, Fusion Stop, and Auto Go Advanced for Model 579. So they're obviously doing a lot more into the technological space there, and that's pretty awesome to see as well. Now the powertrain, they've got a big powertrain here. I'm not going to go into all that, but you can see the powertrain engine as well. So it's pretty cool stuff there. And actually, just let me see if I highlight any of those. Like I say, up to 70,000 pounds, not bad as well. Exterior, of course, looking pretty good. Most aerodynamical, of course, we talked about a lot about that. Pretty beautiful, to be honest. And the interior, which gives a sense. Look at that cab. That cab is crazy good, right? Let's just open that up in a new tab there. Let's have a look at that image, because that's pretty badass. Look at that. That's pretty nice, right? Whoa. And I love the red on there too. So not bad at all. I guess it's the fridge on the left there. Looking at a table and a microwave on the right. Then we've got the bed cab. That's insane. That shows you how big it is. Pretty awesome. And of course, probably some storage, plenty of storage just everywhere, and no doubt in there as well. So there we go. That is pretty cool. Not bad. Let me know in the chat there what you think of that interior. But pretty nice. So that's the big 579, the big highway one. But of course, they also have some of the classics here, the 589. We're going to have a quick look at that and check this one out as well. So this one's on highway. Also, it's also class 8, so heavy haulage there. Front axles and suspension up to 22,000 1,800 pounds, and of course the rear axle up to 78,000 pounds. Sleeper is 48 to 80 inches as well. Max horsepower 405 to 605 horsepower on that one. In fact, I don't know if I actually looked at the other one actually on the horsepower, but pretty crazy. You can also add a lot of extra things on it, like car carriers from the looks of it as well. So let's go to the exterior images here. Have a look at a couple of those. And I just love this chrome. I mean, look at that chrome. My goodness, this OMG, so good. And the front of it as well. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful. Now, this is probably what I would compare more to some of the big Macs that I'm, the Kenworth trucks that I'm used to seeing. But that is impressive chrome stuff there as well. Look at that front wheel. That is damn good. That is damn good as well. That's pretty amazing there. Brian says this looks awesome. Yeah, it does. Looks pretty amazing for sure. And of course, we've got another one here. Got a couple more images on the exterior. So look at that. So pretty nice there as well. Let's look at the front of the chrome. Bam! Look at that Peterbilt. It definitely is Peterbilt, that's for sure. And we've got a nice range there as well. Nice. The two exhausts as well look pretty amazing. And of course, all the lights, floodlights on the front. That'd be pretty epic too. Imagine that, especially coming up behind you at nighttime or something. That'd be pretty crazy, right? We've got some more of these exhaust and of course the horns as well. OMG. Now I don't know if you've seen some videos of little girls going, toot toot, and when the thing does go toot toot, the kids freak out, right? That's how cool it is. Pretty nice there. There's some nice images there on the roads. Yeah, cool step ups. You're going to definitely need to step up, especially if you're going to have your grandma stay over the night. If you're going to have your grandma there. So that's some of the exteriors. Look at those horns and lights. Fantastic, man. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. I think we can all appreciate that. Some of the interiors. Let's look at these because these are pretty neat too. So this is obviously of the 589 model. Look at that. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Now they're on a bridge there. I'd be a bit nervous if I was in a big truck driving that. But I know some of you out there, particularly Brian, you'd be pretty fine. We've also got obviously your coat racks there as well. In fact, I said that might be the fridge, but I think that's actually the coat rack there now. And obviously you've got coffee mugs. What else have we got there? Let's jump to that one. Look at that. I've got to open this up in a new image, right? Let's do that. That is pretty epic. So this was the other one here. And we've got this 589. Look at that. That's pretty epic as well. So kind of pretty similar design, but man, it is pretty quality, right? That's crazy. So we've got the driver's seat, passenger seat. We've got some storage on the right there, microwave. I guess the little fridge down the bottom there, and the oven as well. This little window at the side. It looks like a little cab door, doesn't it? Probably is a little cab door there, and of course the bed. And we've got plenty of storage above there as well. There's probably storage in every nook and cranny on these things. It's normally how they do it, right? That's the 589. Let's have a look at what else we got here. We've got pull-out drawers there as well. What's that? There's an iPad, but I'm not sure what that table is there. Whether it's a side table, maybe it is, or whether it's to do something to do with the kitchenette, like a stove or something. What else have we got? The fine materials of the seats at the front. Pretty badass. You'd expect very good quality in these things. But man, I'm very impressed by that as well. TV up there too. You see up the top left there, it looks like a TV, so not bad. I presume there's a TV up there. And of course you got some nice side storage there as well, pushed to open. And what else there? The drive front cab as well. Pretty nice. So that is on highway as well. So those are the two main ones I was going to look at with that. So let's go back to the trucks there. Obviously they've got lots of other trucks as well. So we've got we've done the 579, the 589. Those are the two main ones I was going to look at, but they have a whole other range of very cool trucks here as well. They've got the EV models. So they've got this 579 EV. So we'll have a quick look at that. So if you want electric, and of course that can it's a Class 8 as well, 670 horsepower. It's pretty powerful, and of course that's looking pretty nice there as well. The estimated daily range is 150 miles per charge. So I guess it would depend where you what sort of work you're doing in terms of why you would use that truck in particular. Now some other things, of course, they have why Peterbilt. Obviously dealer network's very important as well, and of course the innovation that they put into it. So there's a number of aspects there. You can obviously buy a truck. What are the incentives? Find a dealer, finance options, etc., things like that. So those are pretty common. Let's have a quick look at the incentive offers here. So obviously federal tax credits are pretty important for alternative fuel refueling property credits. So there's different things like that. So if you're going to buy, these are the sort of things that you'd be weighing up. All states federal tax credit for qualified commercial clean vehicles, up to $40,000 for that. Really would depend on which is applicable to you when you're going to buy it there. Lots of things like that. So we don't have, well, it's not obvious to me that we have a lot of these things in New Zealand, but we probably do have some similar type of things as well. So yeah, we've got parts and service. Obviously, you're going to have to do that. Now, remember, this is where they're manufacturing. The market share is like 14-18%, so it's not as big as some of the others. So like Custodia, for example. And so things are a bit more expensive and a bit harder to find because it's a slightly smaller market, but it's more premium as well. So kind of cool. Let's have a quick look at some of those. Actually, we'll just jump out of there. But there's parts and service on a different website altogether. So pretty crazy. All right, so what else? We've got news and events in there. We've got resources as well. They have EVS cost calculator, manuals, image gallery, which we've looked through quite a bit already, and then careers as well. So some of you may want to go work for some of these afterwards. So that is Peterbilt. That is our third one on our top 3 most popular. And I have to say those cabs are pretty good. And I think Brian agreed. That was pretty nice as well. That looked pretty awesome, yeah. So next one we're going to look at is Kenworth. And this is kind of what I grew up with here down in New Zealand at the bottom of the world. So Kenworth, obviously, pretty well known here. And we're going to pick up some of these trucks. So let's look at the T60, because I think that's the one we're going to be probably talking about the most there as well. Maybe the other one as well. So we'll have a look at T60. And that is the T60. I think we have the little video, yeah. So that is the T60. And I've got a little comments about this as well. So we're going to talk about that. Let's bring those up there. So yeah. Some of the cool things about Kenworth, focusing on the most popular T680, and of course that's what we're looking at the moment, the T680, and this is more comparable to the other one we talked about as well. So yeah, this is basically a direct competitor to Freightliner Cascadia, which we're going to be talking about next, because it's obviously got the biggest market share, the most popular, but it's also not as high quality, let's say, compared to what we've already been discussing so far. So yeah, and it's also a direct competitor to that. So the Freightliner, and of course the iconic W90 900, I should say, and of course that's based on driver feedback, industry insights, and performance data, also up to date. So the Kenworth, of course, you guys all know Kenworths have massive durability, and of course are renowned for robust construction as well. They often last something like 1.5 million miles, which is even more than the other one we talked about, which was up to like 1 million or so. And of course, more with proper care, so very, very sturdy there. The W900, for example, is a favorite for heavy haul jobs like logging or construction due to its rugged frame and axles. So we're not going to be looking at that one in particular, but it also has cool customization as well. This is kind of where these car companies make a lot of their value, right, is with this customization. So Kenworth Trucks offers extensive personalization options. Think of chrome accents, custom paint, and interior upgrades. And of course, things like leather seats and of course wood trim. Got to have your wood trim. You're going to have some chrome and wood trim, I think so. Also ride comfort, of course. Models like the T680 feature a smoother, quieter ride, more than many competitors, thanks to advanced suspension systems. Kenworth has an AG400L, and of course well-insulated cabs as well. Drivers often praise the Kenworth for ergonomic design for reducing fatigue, and that's got to be very important, right? That's got to be very important. It's easy to say, oh, it looks good, but it's also got to feel good driving, especially on long hauls as well. Resale value, pretty similar. Kenworth trucks hold their value better than mass production models like the Freightliner Cascadia. So even though that's the most popular, it is actually not as cheap as this. It doesn't hold up its value as much as the last two that we've talked about. The reputation of quality and lower supply, of course, in the used market keeps prices strong, often 10 to 20% higher than comparable Freightliners. And of course, engine performance, they have the MX-13 engines, and of course, up to 510 horsepower. We're going to talk more about that when we deep dive. Kenworth delivers strong torque and, of course, pulling power, ideal for varied terrains and, of course, heavy loads, while still achieving a decent fuel economy, about 6.5 to 7.5 miles per gallon for the T680. So that's the car we're looking at, the truck we're looking at the moment. So important. Now, some of the things that aren't so good, the fact that it has high initial cost. So Kenworth trucks come with a premium price tag. saying about 150 to 180k. So that's really up at the top end there. We talked about the average being 75 to 150, depending on what you're buying, but this is 150 to 180. This is for a T680 or a W900 compared to 130 to 150k for the Cascadia, which fits in our average price range that we talked about at the beginning of the video. This can strain budgets for smaller operators. It also has fuel efficiency lag as well, while improving. Kenworth models like the T680 don't match the Cascadia's aerodynamic edge, often averaging 0.5 to 1 miles per gallon less. And of course, we've seen that with the other model as well. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff there. Also, maintenance expenses, parts and services can be pricier and less widely available than Freightliners, given Kenworth's smaller market share. And of course, they have around about 15% versus Freightliners 40%. So we see these other two are, sitting around 12 to 15%. And of course, repairs might take longer if dealers sparse as well. So it's probably not a problem that Freightliner has so much. Also, there's a tech lag. Kenworth drivers assess systems, adaptive cruise, and lane keeping are solid, but trail Freightliner's Detroit Assurance suite, of course, with integration and refinement. Some drivers find the tech less intuitive or slower to update, and that could be a big problem as we move forward as well, especially with expectations here. The weight, of course, models like the W900 are heavier due to their beefy builds, which can reduce payload capacity and efficiency compared to lighter fleet-focused trucks like the Cascadia. That matters for weight-sensitive freight, of course. So let's check it out. So, Kenworth trucks, they're pretty popular. I grew up with them as a kid on movies and things like that, particularly the T680 there that we're looking at. And, of course, and the W900 excel for drivers who prioritize durability. If you're after that, comfort, of course, and, of course, a personalized rig with strong resale potential. They're a top pick, of course, for owner-operators or niche haulers. And, of course, we saw owner-operators earning something like 320K a year, so pretty good for them. And niche haulers who probably also get pretty premium salaries as well, or wages. And, of course, who value quality over cost. However, they fall short of fuel savings, so it's much more expensive. Upfront affordability, your capital cost is high, and of course widespread service support compared to Freightliner's Cascadia. It's a trade-off between premium craftsmanship and practical economics, ideal for those who see their truck as a long-term investment or a point of pride, and of course So that's kind of where we are on some of those stuff there. So pretty cool. That compares. They kind of seem similar in many ways to the Peterbilt trucks in terms of many of their characteristics. So let's have a look at some of this Kenworth stuff here. Obviously, we've got profit-tuned performance. Pretty cool, offering you up to 7% fuel savings from day one. And that's a pretty nice cab, though. I must agree with that. Specifications, there's standard, of course. The MX-13 engine, we talked about that. 12.9 litre, 405 to 510 horsepower. And, of course, that's got automated transmission and tandem axle as well. Also, the exhaust there, some good, and a DEF tank, 21 usable gallons there as well. So pretty nice looking cab. We've got some good images there as well of the inside of the truck. Digital vision mirrors, they've got to be pretty important also. And I love the UI there, 15-inch display, digital display there as well. You can see that inside the front of the cab there. Pretty cool. Now if we've got a little bit of video, so look at that. There. So got some cool imagery there. 15-inch display, not bad. Pretty nice. You got all the tech systems there as well. You can see driver performance, check systems, tire pressure. It's pretty impressive. It's almost like a spaceship, almost, isn't it? Pretty nice. It's looking good. Minimize, maximize gauges. Pretty nice there as well. That's looking pretty good. So pretty damn nice looking cab. Next generation smart wheel. Got to have your smart wheels there. Starts a new can say up to 26 segment trips. So pretty cool. ADAS technologies as well. So Kenworth offers several advanced driver assistance systems. But of course, some of the criticisms have been around how fast that's keeping up with the technology as well, compared to the Cascadia. So a lot of product development there as well. So kind of cool. Got powertrains, lots of cool stuff there. So that's pretty neat. Let's have a look at some of the other trucks there. We've got the T880, and of course we've got the W990 there. So they've got quite a few varieties here. Obviously, it's a a carry truck there, but the P990 there is looking pretty good. And of course, we also talked about the W900. So we'll have a quick look at that too. And we can see actually that looks far more classic Kenworth, doesn't it? This truck, whereas the other one's got a much more modern, sleek look. This is definitely the famous look of them. And look at that aero cab as well. Look at it. So you got the seat that turns into a bed. You got the window out there as well. An all place for a laptop there. So not bad on that one as well. Let's have a quick look at some of the innovations there. So they've got quite a few innovations there. Digital display, digital mirrors, power management, and zero emissions as well, truck 2. So we'll look at that. We also got dealers, so obviously dealers around, and parts. So Kenworth parts around as well. Obviously similar to the other one we looked at. So what else there? We got trucks powertrain, technology, world's best magazine, the truck driver's truck. We'll have a quick look at that because it kind of looks interesting. The world's best drivers deserve the world's best trucks. We'll get a little bit of this. Let's watch a little bit of that as well. Not bad. That's it on the road. Pretty badass, right? DJ Bollywood says, yes, the PulseX van I have is top tier trim. Nice one, DJ Bollywood. Aircon inside the front seats. Nice. Double sunroof and moonroof. Back seats go into floor of van also. I'll take the C500 XD, says DJ Bollywood there. Nice. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Actually, let me just switch over here. Oh, yeah, cool. And yeah, so not bad stuff going on there. Cut off to the fish there. World's best magazine, so nice, pretty nice. A lot of uses there. Kenworth Driver Academy. Watch Driver Academy videos, so training, that's pretty neat. Man, that could, just doing this training stuff, man, you don't even probably have to go to like university or college and just get a good trucking job. And away you go. All right, so that's some cool stuff there. That is from Kenworth. Pretty cool. And we're going to jump over to the most popular with the biggest market share, Freightliner. So Freightliner Cascadia is the one that's dominating the market, like 40%. It's got a cheaper entry. So this is where the Cascadia is at the moment. And obviously there's a number of trucks. We're going to have a quick look through some of those as well. So you've got lots of different images of trucks here on the website. Some insights into the cab as well, which is pretty cool. There's the bed being rolled out there. So it goes from a table, so there's basically 2 seats and a table, and then you just pull the bed down, put it on top. Not bad. And there's some images of the cab there as well. And of course driving also pretty awesome. Man, you got to feel so much bigger than everybody else, right? And America have big cars. America compared to New Zealand, you guys got big cars. We get a lot of Asian cars. They're typically smaller people generally, I guess. But man, big. Everything's big in America, right? Big. That's all I can say there. And all the technology that's getting put in now is pretty amazing also, with being able to sense other cars around, right? And the headlights and things like that. So pretty nice there as well. So yeah, we've got cool profitability. It's got some stuff on there too. Business intelligence tools, on-demand intelligence there. So it helps you manage your I guess your truck trips and your profitability, fuel and earnings, maybe things like that. Unmatched efficiency in every detail. Pretty cool. And what else there? We've got some stuff built for business as well. So kind of cool there. Now, obviously, this is the biggest market share. They have like 40% of the market share. We talked about the fact of being about 266,000 cars manufactured a year, and they've got like 40% approximately of the market share. And of course, with all trucks, not just Class 8s, with your big heavy haulage, you've also got up to over 500,000 cars, trucks, being built in America there, sold. And of course, Freightline's dominating with 40%. Cheaper to buy too, and just not as sturdy on the longer run there. Be interesting to see what some drivers' experience have been with that. So let's have a look at some of the ones there we've got on the highway. We're not going to be checking out some of these other trucks, or you can check that out. There are electric versions as well, but let's just check out the on highway there and have a look at the cars here. So we've got E-Cascadia, of course, that will be electric, and of course typical range is 291 or 438 kilometers here. That's interesting that they're using kilometers, given the fact that this is America. I'm a little confused by that. Typical range 155, 220, or 230 is the typical range. I guess it's in miles. 80% recharge in 90 minutes. So I guess you'd have to stop off at a good old diner. Recharge there. Now, typically, you're probably just going to use that for a closer in, maybe not a highway patrol, not like going long distances. The Cascadia, of course, on the highway there, 370 to 525 horsepower, and this is really the main one you're probably going to be using on the road. Up to 1,850 pounds featured torque as well there as well, so that's not bad. All right, so let's jump over to, I don't know if have we got any images on that. Let's jump on that, have a look at the Cascadia, I should say. Got to be careful with the old Kiwi accent, but that's like some pretty cool footage of it. Pretty badass, looks pretty nice on the screen there too. Pretty cool. Nice. All right, so yeah, pretty neat, and some good pictures there. So we've also obviously got parts and services as well. That's pretty important, of course. There, because they've got bigger market share, they've probably got an extended market where you can go to a lot more places to do parts and servicing, which is very convenient. They also have various financing and warranty and extended coverage as well. They've got a bit of reason why, of course, innovation being cheaper to get into as well, some resources there as well, and of course find a dealer. So not bad there from Freightliner. So that's kind of our overview of some of the most popular manufacturers, the top 3 in fact. There are of course other manufacturers in the United States, but that's kind of the highlights there. Let's get into some of these crazy things that have happened with large trucks, with the number of accidents as well. So yeah, they're useful. People make good living out of them. They're pretty impressive. They do great service for people in America, transporting goods and services and things. But in 2022, 5,837 large trucks were involved in a fatal crash, unfortunately, and a 1.8% from increase from 2021. So driver training is very important. People keeping disciplined as well, not making mistakes, not driving when they're tired, for example, things like that. Watching out for the conditions on the road, stuff like that. The involvement rate per 100 million large truck miles traveled is up 3% and up 24% in the last 10 years. So there may be a number of factors for that. Large trucks are defined as a medium or heavy truck, not including buses and motorhomes, with a gross vehicle weight rating greater than 10,000 pounds. Both commercial and non-commercial vehicles are included. Large truck accounts for 6% of all vehicles involved in fatal crashes. Give you some benchmark there. That's large trucks. 10% of total vehicles miles traveled. So there we are, 6% there. Now, we've got the tracking here. So it looks like back in 2009, it was down at about 3,200. The rate per 100 million large truck miles traveled was 1.1, and that has risen over that period of time. So what's it, about 13 years, and risen to 5,837. So it was down here at 3,000. It's probably up about 70%, 80% there, and it's gone from 1.1 to 1.78 100 miles per 100 miles traveled there. So pretty interesting there. Also in 2022, 120,000 large trucks were involved in crashes. So not just fatality ones, but actual crashes. So that's a lot. And remember that we're producing about 266,000 heavy Class 8 trucks a year. So 120,000 is quite a lot. Think about it. Of course, if you look at all the manufactured trucks around, that gives you an idea of that too. So pretty important there as well. And what else there? Involved in crashes result in injury, a 2.5% increase from 2021. Since 2016, the number of trucks involved in injury crashes has increased 18%. And of course, involved a rate per 100 million trucks miles, large truck miles driven has increased from 5.7% to 37. And of course, starting with the 2016 data, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began using a new crash reporting sampling system to estimate the number of non-fatal crashes. And we can see those numbers here. So the number of large trucks involved, we can see has actually got up to 120,000. Back in 2009, it was 53,000. So now it's up at 120. So that's more than doubled. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, pretty crazy numbers there. And also the rate per traveling as well. So a total of 5,900 people died in large truck crashes in 2022. The number of deaths increased 2% from 21, and it's 49% up on the last 10 years, which is pretty unfortunate. Maybe let's do the training and weather conditions. Maybe just change. Pretty interesting to see what some of the factors are. The majority of deaths in large truck crashes are occupants of other vehicles. No doubt, right? No doubt, because you're in a big truck, they're in a little car. There's no doubt about that. 70%. Followed by truck occupants, 90%, and non-occupants, primarily pedestrians and bicyclists, which are 11% there. We'd say cyclists, I guess. people killed in crashes involving large trucks by person type, and you can see truck occupant there. So most of them are in other vehicles, probably small little tiny vehicles there. The number of injuries of large truck crashes increased 3.9% in 2022 to 161,000. My goodness, that's pretty big numbers. This is 2022. It's a couple of years old, but man, that's crazy. And as with deaths in large truck crashes, most of the injuries occurred to occupants in other vehicles, 73%, followed by truck occupants 26%, and non-occupants 1% there. Pretty crazy numbers there. You can see 16,000 back here, truck occupant, and was it 56,000 other vehicles? That's now risen dramatically to 117,000 occupants there. That's some crazy numbers. Those are crashes that have been reported. What about all the unreported crashes? I guess a lot of them do get reported because of insurance and injury issues and lawyers and things like that, which we're going to talk about. So pretty cool. So we've got some key factors here, urban and rural. So a lot of them are in the urban, 46%. Rural 54%, and urban there 46%. On the roadway and interstate, it is 26% interstate, and non-interstate is 73%. It's where a lot of the fatal crashes are. Time of day, most of the majority is during the day, which is 61%. And in the work zone, obviously, as opposed to not work zone, it is 95.5% there. So some numbers there. So pretty crazy. By month, the worst month of the year, based on this, is the month of October. So be extra careful around there. That's all we can say. So those are some of the injuries there, and of course we've got some pretty bad stories as well. Now, obviously, when you have injuries and stuff like that, trucks and that in the United States, you got to get some good lawyers. So here I am on Krug and Hoches. They're a lawyer firm, and of course they deal with a lot of crashes. So they've got a few stories here. They got one all the way back in 1906, but we're going to jump through that to a bit more modern ones as well. We're going to jump through some of these. We've got a Phoenix bus crash, 1959. We're going to jump through that as well. We've got Houston ammonia truck crash, 1976. What else they got there? Prestonburg in 1958. So let's read this little one here because it's not too long. Overnight rains and early morning fog contributed to a tragic school bus crash in Prestonburg. And that's a bus one, isn't it? So I don't know if there's a truck involved with that. Just trying to get one with the truck here. It's a tanker. It's pretty close. What else we got? Just looking back one of these. Yeah, they're all buses on that one. But people do need lawyers for that. Let's check on to the next lawyer. And we're going to have a look at, this is another lawyer one here, Isaacs and Isaacs. The worst truck accident in history, a deep dive into tragedy. You can see that the truck on fire there. So, when things do go wrong, they go wrong pretty badly as well. So we'll look at some of these. So this is sort of defining that. When discussing the worst track accident in history, one tragic event comes to mind. In this article, we'll delve into the catastrophic collision near Whitefish, Montana in 1984. Explore other major truck accidents as well. So historic truck accidents like those in Whitefish, Montana in 1984 and Houston, Texas, 1976 highlight the catastrophic consequences of vehicle collisions involving hazardous material in large trucks. Sometimes these trucks are carrying very hazardous material, so that could be real disaster. Common causes of truck accidents include human error. So obviously, driver training is very important. Mechanical failures of people looking after the trucks, and sometimes it's just unfortunate. And of course, adverse weather conditions can be a big issue in the United States. With the snow and high winds, storms, and things like that, tornadoes and things. So pretty crazy. Highlighting and of course, driver fatigue, which is very important. Keeping one's discipline over one's behavior can be the hardest one at all, especially on long travels, right? And if you're under a lot of pressure from get a delivery to some place, that also puts a heck of a lot of pressure on people. All of which underscore the need for stringent safety measures and regulations. Legal aspects of truck accidents involve determining liability, pursuing compensation, and the critical role of experienced truck accident lawyers. So you do need to get experienced truck accident lawyers if this was something that happened to you, and navigating complex legal scenarios for victims. So that's very, very important to do that. Now we're going to have a quick look at some of this. So the term worst truck accident evokes images of crumbling vehicles and emergency crews, yet defining it as a complete task there. And of course, with factors like fatalities, serious injuries, and extensive destruction at play, the worst truck accidents often reflect a convergence of human error, mechanical failures, and unforgiving forces of nature. These accidents, of course, form a fatal accident that occurred under clear skies to a double tanker truck sideswiped amidst a storm. Remind us that the mass and momentum of a semi-truck can turn any mishap into a serious trucking accident, as we consider the most worst multiple vehicle accidents. Let's remember the lives altered by these catastrophic events and the imperative to understand and prevent them. Notable historical truck accidents include the following. Whitefish there in Montana, we're pretty big on that in the pages of Montana history. Happened one of the most heart-wrenching tragedies, and of course that happened on January 21st, 1984. A school bus carrying a high school wrestling team collided with a jackknife fuel tanker on US 2 near Whitefish, Montana. The resulting explosion and fire claimed 9 lives and left 19 others with serious injuries. This accident, the worst in Montana history, occurred as the bus was returning from a match. A grim reminder that the most misfortune on the road can lead to a lifetime of sorrow. Houston, Texas, 1976, on the Houston Freeway. Some of you may have driven on these roads, so let me know in the chat there or after the video is finished in the comments. A speeding tanker truck met its fate in 1976, resulting in a catastrophic of epic proportions. The truck, failing to navigate a turn, crashed through a guardrail and released a poisonous anhydrous ammonite, and of course a cloud that enveloped the unsuspecting motorists. The toxin mist claimed 5 lives. Almost sounds something terrible, isn't it? Inflicted injuries of 178 people. Can you believe it? That was ammonia. And of course, ammonia cloud. Los Angeles, California, 2002. A foggy day on November the 3rd, 2002 set the stage for chaos on Interstate 10 south of Los Angeles. Visibility was near zero when a semi-truck crash triggered a catastrophic chain reaction, ultimately involving 216 vehicles. That's mind-boggling, isn't it? And that's in Los Angeles there. While miraculous, no lives were lost, the crash resulted in 41 injuries and a stark warning that the risk of driving in adverse weather conditions. It was a stark reminder that even in absence of fatalities, the physical and psychological toll of such accidents can be immense. Now, I think that might actually be on video. That one actually kind of reminds me of someone I've seen as well. Now, there's also, not only do we have major truck accidents, but also major pile-ups, right? And I saw some of these on video, possibly. We've got Fort Worth, Texas there. Fort Worth, Texas presented a grim tableau as icy roads became the stage for 133 vehicle pile-up. These are just insane, these numbers. Like, I've never seen something. I've seen, some pile-ups. I've seen trucks on fire too, and including large trucks, heavy trucks. The treacherous conditions compounded by high-speed driving led to the tragic loss of 6 lives and inflicted multiple injuries on the survivors. The spectacle of crumbled cars and overturned trucks served as a painful reminder of nature's might and the fragility of human life when put against the elements and the momentum of heavy trucks. Then also in Mobile, Alabama, 1995. In 1995, a dense fog descended over Mobile Bay, Alabama, setting the stage for one of the worst pile-ups in history. On Interstate 10, 200 vehicles collided in a blind dance of metal and glass. The disaster claimed 1 life and caused injuries to 90 people, a stark testament to the chaos that can ensue when visibility dwindles to nothing and roads become treacherous pathways to peril. And finally, Galesburg, Michigan, 2011, 15, I should say, witnessing a chilling scene in Galesburg, Michigan, as 193 vehicles, these are mind-boggling numbers, including a truck carrying fireworks and acid, oh my gosh, became entangled in an explosive pile-up. The hazardous material added a terrifying dimension to the crash, which resulted in 1 death and 23 injuries. This tragedy serves as a harsh reminder of the potential dangers that lurk in the cargo holds of the trucks that shared our roads and catastrophic consequences that can follow when they're involved in the most tragic truck accidents, including cases where the truck accident killed innocent people there. So, some of the main things: human error, aggressive driving, mechanical malfunctions, speeding, tankers losing control, cargo shifting unpredictably. So these are sort of the things that are driving a lot of things. Obviously, adverse weather, fatigue, mechanical failures, and of course the legal aspects of truck accidents. So this, we're going to just wrap up with this final comment about the legal aspects as well. There's a lot of, if you've got a big giant ton truck on the road, you're driving it, there's a lot of responsibility, and can have a lot of ramifications as well, legally and financially, right? The record of the truck accident often extends beyond the physical debris, giving rise to complex legal battles. And of course, America is famous for those, where determining liability and pursuing compensation become a labyrinth of endeavors. Navigating these legal intricacies requires a deft hand, as multiple parties, from truck drivers to cargo loaders, may bear responsibility. So there's a lot of responsibility driving such a big vehicle. An experienced personal injury attorney Of course, you need a personal injury attorney experience in trucking accidents can be a guiding light through this legal morass, and of course ensuring victims receive the restitution they deserve. Determining liability in the aftermath of a truck accident. Determining liability is akin to unraveling a knotted thread, with potential culpability extending to drivers, trucking companies, and even cargo loaders. The investigation delves into driver's logs, vehicle inspection records, and electronic footprints left by mandatory logging devices. And of course, it's a bit like black box in airplanes, isn't it, really? Amidst this complexity, recent regulatory changes such as the MFCSA, Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, are reshaping the landscape of accountability. Now, pursuing compensation is a big thing that you would have to deal with if you're in this situation. For victims of truck accidents, the journey to fair compensation is fraught with challenges, so it's not easy. Legal representation becomes a beacon of hope, though, guiding them through the process of evidence collection and litigation, with the potential need to sue multiple parties. The pursuit of compensation is a battle for justice fought on the grounds of lost wages, medical bills, and intangible suffering endured, and that can be very high in the United States, can't it? With a largely private health sector. The role of the truck accident lawyer. The role of the truck accident lawyer transcends the mere legal advisor. They become the architect of the case, employing experts and reconstructing the scene to establish the truth. It really is something out of a movie, isn't it? I guess they would probably do a TV show about this. Schooled in the art of negotiating, these attorneys are the champions of their clients' rights, ensuring that the scales of justice tip in the favor of those wronged by the tragedies of truck accidents. Safety and measures preventions. As we contemplate the records left in the wake of truck accidents, it's paramount to shift our focus to the horizon of prevention. Safety measures such as maintaining distance, etc., are very important. And of course, this is where the big battle we saw in some of those top brands comes, with the advanced technology helping with that. Although we still see the statistics going up in the right despite this advance in technology. So maybe there's a lot of decision making and training required, right? So regulatory approvals are pivoting and steering the truck industry towards increased safety, and we can see why, because those measures were all going up, right? So over the last 13 years, so yeah, probably you've got to keep the thumb on the road, as it were. Training and awareness. Obviously, this is a huge thing. You can't just have any person just driving a giant truck with big tonnage, and of course may have a payload that is chemicals or dangerous of some form. So very important there. And we saw one of the actual car manufacturers there offering that service. So pretty cool. So some of the common causes of truck accidents, we covered quite a few of those. We covered technology. We obviously covered the liability, that you may be liable as a truck driver, truck company, and of course you probably would need a truck accident lawyer to help you out there as well. So some cool stuff there. That is pretty much it with our coverage. And man, we covered a lot of good stuff, I must say. So very exciting stuff there. So those are the three most popular 18-wheelers in America, and it's a huge culture in America. Let's not be frightened about that. And of course, we also explored the luxury of those cabs. Are pretty impressive, as well as some of the use cases. The salaries are pretty amazing too, particularly if you're an owner operator. And we saw that was over $300,000 US, pretty friendly. Obviously, you got to take costs and things out of there. And we also covered some of the responsibilities and ramifications when things don't go quite right as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun to cover this. I've been looking to cover trucks for a while, particularly 18-wheelers, the big heavy Class 8s. I hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage as well. It was pretty exciting where all this is heading, right? So we've covered quite a few. We've covered the Kenworth, right? We covered the Kenworth. I really like the Kenworths, of course. I actually think the design, of course, of Freightliner Cascadias are pretty nice as well. But I guess, to be personal, my favorite really is the Peterbilt. They look so good, the Peterbilt. So very excited about that. Really nice looking trucks. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Something a bit different as well. And of course, as you guys know, I'll be covering a lot of cool things moving ahead. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that. TJ Paulie Wood in there, just shouting us out at the end of the show. Yeah, give us a follow if you'd like to get more variety. Let me know in the chat there in the comments of what other cool interest topics you'd like me to cover as well. Because obviously covering Big Mac trucks and things is pretty exciting. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and leave the comments after the video as well. And don't forget to subscribe, follow, and I'll see you in Discord. Links to Discord in the chat there. We love to talk crypto and, of course, politics, sports, and, of course, trucks as well. So get in there. Have a good time. All right, take care, and bye for now.